A long time ago, in a small African village surrounded by golden fields and tall trees, there lived a kind and beautiful girl named Ayana. She had soft brown eyes and a heart as warm as the sun. Ayana lived with her father, who loved her very much. But when her mother passed away, everything changed. Her father remarried, and Ayana suddenly had a stepmother named Amara. At first, Ayana was excited to have someone new in their family. But little did she know, her life was about to become very hard. This is the story of Ayana, her struggles, and how she found the courage to change her life forever. At first, Amara smiled and pretended to be kind. But as the days went by, she began to show her true colors. She made Ayana do all the chores in the house, sweeping, cooking, fetching water, and washing clothes, while her own daughter, Zina, did nothing. "Why do I have to do all the work?" Ayana asked one day. "Because I said so," Amara snapped. "Now stop complaining and finish cleaning." Ayana felt sad and lonely. She missed her mother and her father, who was always too busy in the fields to notice what was happening at home. Despite her troubles, Ayana had a secret. Her late mother had once told her, "Always be kind and brave, no matter what happens." Ayana held on to those words like a treasure. She often helped the village children, shared food with those who had none, and even sang songs to cheer herself up when she felt sad. One day, while fetching water from the river, an old woman appeared from behind a tree. She wore a colorful scarf and leaned on a wooden staff. "Why do you look so sad, child?" the old woman asked. Ayana told her everything. "I miss my mother. My stepmother doesn't love me, and she makes me do all the work." The old woman smiled gently. "Remember this, Ayana, kindness and courage can open doors you cannot see. Never lose your good heart." Before Ayana could reply, the old woman vanished. Ayana blinked, wondering if she had imagined it. One day, Ayana's father announced that he had to travel to a nearby town for several weeks to sell his harvest. Amara saw this as her chance to make Ayana's life even harder. "You will work from sunrise to sunset," Amara told her, "and if you don't, you'll sleep without dinner." Ayana tried her best to keep up with the work, but it was too much. She grew tired and weak. Zina, meanwhile, laughed and teased her. "You're just a servant now," Zina said smugly. One evening, Ayana accidentally spilled a pot of porridge while cooking. Amara was furious. "You clumsy girl. You've wasted food. Now you'll eat nothing tonight." Ayana went to bed hungry, tears streaming down her face. She whispered to herself, "Mother, please help me. I don't know what to do." The next morning, Amara gave Ayana a new task, to collect firewood deep in the forest. "Don't come back until you've gathered enough wood to fill this basket," Amara ordered. Ayana nodded and set off with a heavy heart. The forest was far from the village, and it grew darker and scarier as she walked. Strange sounds echoed around her, birds squawking, leaves rustling, and twigs snapping underfoot. But Ayana remembered her mother's words, "Be brave." As she collected wood, she stumbled upon something strange, a sparkling spring surrounded by glowing flowers. She knelt to drink from the water, feeling a warmth spread through her body. It was as if the spring had given her strength. Suddenly, a soft voice spoke. "Why are you here, little one?" Ayana jumped and turned to see the old woman from before. "I came to collect firewood," Ayana said, her voice shaking. "My stepmother will punish me if I don't." The old woman looked at her with kind eyes. "You have a good heart, Ayana. I will help you. Take these flowers back with you. They will change your life." Ayana hesitated but gathered the glowing flowers, placing them carefully in her basket. "Thank you," she said, bowing deeply. When Ayana returned home, Amara scolded her. "Why did it take you so long? And what are these flowers?" "I found them in the forest," Ayana replied. Zina laughed. "Flowers? What use are those?" But as soon as Amara touched the flowers, something incredible happened. The flowers turned into gold coins. Amara's eyes widened with greed. "Where did you find this?" she demanded. "In the forest," Ayana said truthfully. "You will go back tomorrow and bring me more," Amora ordered. The next morning, Amora and Zina decided to follow Ayana into the forest. They watched from a distance as Ayana found the spring and gathered more glowing flowers. After Ayana left, Amora pushed Zina forward. "Go and drink from the spring. Maybe it will give us riches too." Zina hesitated but obeyed. She drank greedily from the water and picked every flower she could see. But instead of turning into gold, the flowers crumbled into dust. Suddenly, the old woman appeared, her eyes blazing with anger. "You are greedy and selfish," she said. "You do not deserve the gift of this spring." Amora and Zina tried to run, but the ground beneath them turned slippery, and they fell into the mud. Covered in dirt, they stumbled home empty-handed. When Ayana returned with more flowers, she found Amora and Zina sulking in a corner. Her father had returned from his trip and was listening to the villagers talk about how Ayana was treated. "I didn't know," her father said, looking heartbroken. Amora tried to defend herself, but the truth was clear. Ayana's father promised to take better care of her from then on. Amora and Zina apologized, but Ayana simply said, "I forgive you." The glowing flowers brought enough gold to help the entire village, and Ayana's kindness and courage became an example for everyone. Moral of the story. This story teaches us that kindness and bravery can overcome even the hardest challenges. Greed and selfishness, on the other hand, only bring trouble. Ayana's story reminds us to stay true to our hearts and treat others with love and respect, no matter how hard life gets.